What is going on, Coaster Spotters? It is October 2nd, and we are in San Antonio, Texas at SeaWorld of Texas. Very excited to be back here. Have not been back here since I started the channel, and haven't been back here in 5 years. So I have a couple of coasters to try out, some new sections, and everything else. Great white clothes today, in addition to a couple of other rides, but no big deal. I've been on it before, and if I want to, I could probably drop in tomorrow, but probably won't. So let's go inside and check everything out. So SeaWorld Texas is set up really differently, whereas Discovery Point is actually free. It's outside of the park gates, and it's the dolphin experience, basically. Then you have Aquatic, their water park. Not open today, unfortunately, and where we will be spending all our time. SeaWorld, although I guess we will probably get over to Discovery Point a little bit. So yeah, you have the Dolphin Lagoon, and that's where you do some of the interaction stuff. Swim with the dolphin or the beluga whale. So we actually get a free ticket with the Platinum Pass that I bought here. The Platinum Pass was about, with taxes and everything, was about $170, which is significantly lower than even Sesame Place. But I think it's only for 12 months instead of going all the way to the end of the next year. So that's unfortunate, but still a great deal. And wasn't planning on doing it, but price was nice. All right, Steel Eel is going to be first because it's open. The rest of the park past Steel Eel does not open until 11. So we have plenty of time. Probably going to leave around 3:30. Fiesta Texas opens at 5, and I kind of want to get there about an hour early. So love the new paint job. Looks beautiful. It was so faded the last time I saw it. So it's been the entire day. I'm now just going around the park, kind of a tour almost, but vlog style. So Steel Eel, wow, Steel Eel is fantastic. The last time I rode it, the mid-course breaks were really hard, so the second half of the ride was so dull, and the airtime in the back seat is like spine crushing. Like it's like a little painful, but it's good pain. It's good pain. And pretty much airtime on every hill. In the front seat, there's practically nothing because you do crawl over the hills, but with the long train, you really are pulled over the hills. And then you hit the bottom of those drops, and it is harsh. So I don't know if I like it more than CO4s, especially with CO4s how it was running this year. But still enjoy the heck out of it, that's for sure. Now, as far as the current state of the park, it's really depressing. There is so much closed as far as restaurants go. I feel it's at least 50%. There's really not a lot of big eateries open. I don't even know where I would get something to eat, to be honest with you. Wasn't planning to, but I don't know where I would get something. So let's go ahead and check out the penguin exhibit. I'm not going to check out most of the animal stuff.
Issue with us here at Wavebreaker, the rescue coaster. We ask that you...
Here we go, first ride on Wavebreaker, the Intamin jet ski simulator, whatever you want to call it. Feels definitely similar to the Haggard motorcycle or the Yukon quad vehicle. Well, this ride system is pretty much the same thing as Yukon quad, but a different layout.
All right, Richard. Looks like you've been assigned a dolphin rescue mission. Are you ready? Sit up straight, eyes forward, and hold on tight. Oh yeah. Good luck.
Trainees, please face forward and prepare to launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, well, that was definitely very tame. We'll talk more about it when I get off. Yeah, I'll ride it again. right, wave breaker. I was expecting a little bit more from this. So I did one with a very similar ride system, but slightly different cars in France. It was called Yukon Quad, and it had like Yukon bikes. The seating was similar, but different. As far as the intensity, though, that thing had it easily. This is very tame, very graceful, doesn't really whip you around that much. It's fun. I love the trains. The trains are excellent. Wish there was a little bit more theming, but it's better than what you're seeing from SeaWorld these days anyways, so I'll take it. Unfortunately, like no airtime, and I mean, you see it, it crawls over those hills, so that's the only unfortunate thing about it, but fun. Fun enough to do it 4 times. Great White closed today. I believe it's closed most weekdays. I think it opens on the weekends, but I'm definitely not coming back to find out, especially since we're planning on coming in February, hopefully. So, very good B&M clone though, from what I remember. Very forceful, as they all are. I gotta say though, I really love the views from the Midway. I will definitely be filling this guy heavily the next time I come and it's open. Here is Rio Loco, the Intamin River Rapids ride. Let's go take a ride.
There you go, I had to try. Yep, this one flips open too. We recently discovered on Congo Rapids at Great Adventure that some guy just opened up the seat of the rapids. And I was like, what? I didn't know that did that after riding for so many years. So now every time I ride Intamin, I'm gonna have to check it out. I think it's to make sure that the fiberglass isn't taking on water. Oh! Oh, cool. I never even realized that it went underneath Texas Stingray. Neato. I like this. I feel like you're really leaving the park at this point. That's cool. Had no idea this went out this far. Oh, dear God, no. No, 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 no. No. Stop, stop. Oh, good golly, I'm so glad I didn't get that. I would not have been happy with that. Oh boy, would I not have. I wanted to get a little wet, not drenched.
So after getting off of the rapids ride, I love it. I love how far off the path it went. I had no idea it went that far back. I didn't even realize my first few rides on Texas Stingray that you went over it. So very cool. There's one devious waterfall at the end, and thank God we didn't get wet on that, because I was hoping to get a little wet, but not as wet as that could have possibly gotten me. So very good. Once is enough though, as far as the SeaWorld ones go. I haven't done the one in San Diego, but Infinity Falls is miles better. Just to note that pretty much everything opened at 11. The only things that really opened at 10 were front of the park stuff, such as Steel Eel and some of the exhibits. But it functions very similar to Orlando Park, which I didn't know, unfortunately, but it didn't really affect me that much. Other than the fact that the locker was broken and there was no locker to go to, and they were arguing with me to put my bag in a locker when I have no locker to use and by myself. So SeaWorld just does a lot of things to annoy their guests. It's just absolutely frustrating as can be.
Third ride here on Texas Stingray. If you can hear me above this rocking country. So far, pretty meh, but I half trains, of course, and needs to warm up, I think. Definitely better than Invader. All right, let's go. Straight drop, just like Invader. That is definitely warming up. Let's reserve judgment for later. Yeah, definitely gonna come back to this after a while. I think I'm gonna take another ride or two, but I never waited any of this, but my goodness, this seems a little overkill for Q. So Texas Stingray, the country's only new wood coaster this year. GCI uses the former trains from Gwazi, so I think they're out of those trains now, or what's left was probably used for parts. Regardless, tallest and fastest wood coaster in Texas. Is it better than Bulwark Bullet? Let's just start with that. Heck no. That thing is amazing. My first ride was either in the back seat or the front seat. I forget. But my first ride, I was so underwhelmed. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is such a boring GCI. This is just a step above Invader. But as it warmed up, I really like it. It's different. It's got a lot of different to it. It's got the straight drop right there. And then what I really love is this second drop here. It's a really straight hill into, it feels like Wildcats first drop, but you go straight into it instead of being lifted off the lift hill. I love that. That is great. Nice airtime, some good directional changes. Nothing too intense. It's definitely toned down from some other GCIs like Prowler or Renegade or Mystic Timbers, but it's definitely not on the bottom of my list. My first ride, it was like towards the lower end of the GCIs. I've ridden every single GCI now in America. The only one I've ever missed is Ozark Wildcat, and obviously that's never going to happen. But this was really enjoyable. I got to figure out where I'd rank it. It's kind of in the middle of the list. It's not as forgettable as some of the other ones like American Thunder, but it's not like wow you completely. Also, I'm a little concerned how it's going to hold up to the Texas heat. It could become a real big rough fest eventually. But we'll see. This really rounds out the SeaWorld San Antonio coaster lineup. I wish there was a little bit more theming. There's like literally none. I wish they had built a Stingray exhibit along with it. I believe there's a Stingray touch tank in the front of the park, but it would have been nice to do that.
right next to the brake one, when you're sitting on the brake run, there's a completely ugly space that's completely like torn up, construction looking behind that gift shop. So I don't know if that's how they, I don't know if they have any plans for that or not, but it would be great to have a small exhibit over here. Was added, I believe, in either 2018 or 19. It includes 2 flat rides, which I think this park really does need a lot. Unfortunately, as you can see, they're closed today. They look great, but I think the park just needs more stuff to fill out the park between the exhibits and maybe even more exhibits. Like, they're kind of lacking on the exhibits. I thought there was more. Like, I think there might be a shark exhibit, but I couldn't find it. So I love what they're doing with all this, showing the wetlands, the grass protection. So it's a lot about education and everything, and that's what SeaWorld's kind of doing. They're not going with the theming on the SeaWorlds, which I'm okay with. It's more about informing people about conservation and all that type of stuff. But these look fun. I probably would have done them. So they have Beer Fest going on. I did not partake. I was thinking about it, but after all the locker issues, it kind of turned me off to spending any more money. And I don't know, doing these alone, it's just not as fun. Basically, this is Oktoberfest, a themed event, and it had some okay stuff as far as food goes. Pretty good beers on tap. I just couldn't care enough to show it or to experience it. If I had someone else with me, I probably would have done it, but alone, I just wasn't feeling it. Plus, I'm not one to actually, I hate drinking beer on a hot day. It does not refresh me whatsoever. It just makes me not feel great. So we skipped that. So let's move on to the last big coaster, Journey to Atlantis. So, the main question, do I count this one as a coaster? I'm gonna go for it this time. I don't know why. It's got enough coaster elements, but just the big thing is, like, if you count this, why the heck can't you count Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls at Universal? Because that thing has 2 drops, upwards and downwards, and it's probably more roller coaster than this thing is. But after riding the one at Europa and counting that one, I think I'm just gonna go with consistency and count it. Kind of dirty, but whatever. And if I really wanted to go back and figure out which coaster number this was, it would upset my 1000th and all that stuff. But I'm just going to count it as a new credit today. So there it is. I enjoyed it. I did it twice, and just the right amount of wetness. Didn't get you soaked, but didn't keep you dry. Shoes were high and dry. I do find it really cheap that the lantern they have in the front just has painted flames. It looks so dumb. I feel like you could have used some kind of glass or plastics to make it look more realistic. A more realistic glow with translucent dyes and whatnot. Just little things I noticed. So as far as the Journey to Atlantis rides, this is easily the worst one. Has the least amount of theming. It's not good. There's no theming. Whereas the one in Orlando is so good with the theming, and then the one in San Diego is somewhere in between, but miles above this one, and closer to the little detail of Orlando's. So this is obviously just a budget attraction, and it is what it is. So right here was at the construction site in March, but they haven't done anything since then. I believe they did some initial footer work, but that's about it. It's the S&S swing, similar to what Busch Gardens, Williams got, and what Tampa is also going to get. You could see some of the ride parts back behind Stingray, actually. Some of the air tanks and vehicles and everything. So that will be built eventually, I assume, or repoed. So we're still going to head over to some of the exhibits at the front of the park at Discovery Point, but I have to say, I knew this park wouldn't be all that great right now. Most of the SeaWorld parks are being ran really bad, and it's nobody's real fault right now with the way the world is going. And the only reason I ended up buying a pass was because the hours worked out so well today. The park closes at the same exact time that Six Flags opens, so I'm leaving now and transferring over there, and I'll be there a little bit before opening. And I'm glad I did it, but it's buyer's remorse a little bit with the price. Had a good time. I just don't know if it's going to be worth it. Again, the pass is for a year. Unfortunately, it's not till the end of next year. That's a big bummer. So I think Ariel and I might. She might get one in February. So then her pass will be okay until February 22. It's a little messed up the way that works. I don't know. So that's very interesting, and I had a good time. Wasn't crowded, so I can't complain, but I just wish there was more life. The shows are extremely limited. The food offerings are extremely limited. There is a Sesame Place area that's been kind of renovated recently. Decided to I didn't even walk in there. I'm going to have to go in there for Ariel whenever she comes to this park, so I'm just going to wait till then. But let's just head over to the Discovery Point and end this day. So we have dolphins and sharks back here. I gotta go. I don't have time. My arrival time right now is 4:30 over at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. So it's so weird that this whole section is completely separate from the rest of the park and free. I don't get that. Someone please explain to me why it is. Maybe because of the experiences. I'm not sure. We will explore this next time we come. I gotta go. It's really nice back here, though. But thank you so much for watching this, I don't know, kind of a train wreck of a vlog, because the day was kind of a train wreck. I still had a good time. It was just annoying, and it didn't feel anywhere near the full experience of what this place should be like. And I get it, it's a hard time right now, but you're open, and it shouldn't feel this diminished of a experience. That's for sure. So like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Alex for the Coaster Spot. I'll see you next time.